Ristas, Zaldrizotti, Ise bisa video kisan discuss, Ia release date, Siet Jelmia Senaro, Kise Elon Reinagon.
In this video, I want to discuss, the potential release date for Winds of Winter and maybe even A Dream of Spring. I also want to discuss a little bit of who George is, but before I jump into any of that, please do me a massive favor, make sure you're subscribed, turn those notifications on, and slap a like on this video. The like goal is going to be 42069. Oh shit, but wait, real quick. I'm also doing a giveaway. The giveaway will be announced in my next video, but it's for a $20 Amazon gift card. All you have to do to win this giveaway, and it's just sort of a way of me saying thank you to every single person who watches these videos, the only thing you have to do to enter this video is make sure you're subscribed and leave a comment down below on this video or the one that I released a few days ago. Remember, it's my job to keep you all entertained throughout the wait for House of the Dragon Season 1, or as it's known on this channel, the long night. Here's your sign. Now, for those who are unaware, Jorge Raymond Richard Martin, or Germ, is an American novelist and a short story writer. He's also a screenwriter, a television producer. He's the author of the epic fantasy series, A Song of Ice and Fire, and his series was adapted to Game of Thrones, which we all know and love. It's the greatest TV series of all time. It also won several Emmy Awards. In 2005, Lev Grossman called Martin the American Tolkien. So, if you don't know, Lev Grossman is someone who writes for Time magazine. He was also included on the annual Time 100 list of the most influential people in the world. That was all the way back in 2011. If you look at that date, 2011, what happened that year? Let's think back. Dance with Dragons was released that year, and then also, more importantly, Game of Thrones was released that year. Now, initially, if the pandemic hadn't have happened, this year would have marked not only the 10-year anniversary of the last entry to A Song of Ice and Fire, but also the last time George was really, truly, according to, these types of things, on top of the world. It was last, according to Time magazine in 2011, that he was one of the top 100 most influential people of the world. So if that's the case, maybe the pandemic screwed that up and we were supposed to get House of the Dragon last year. Maybe we were supposed to get Winds of Winter last year. Maybe we would have gotten Winds of Winter last year leading up to the release of House of the Dragon this year. All of that's what if nonsense, hearsay, it's bullshit. Doesn't matter. That's not what's happening now. So we could still sort of apply that same idea to when House of the Dragon will be coming out. It's just 1 year away. But 100%, if George has a new adaptation in the Song of Ice and Fire series coming out, it just makes the most sense to release Winds of Winter. Now, if you look back at just last year, last summer, during the pandemic, George was really updating us every few weeks about the progress that he was making on Winds of Winter. I think it was like a total of 4 or maybe 5, not a blog posts that were total from last summer where he was referencing writing about characters in Dorne and Bravos. We all know which characters he's writing in specific, but that's besides the point. He stopped updating us because he realized that that's just making us more thirsty. I think George has finished Winds of Winter. I think it's in its final draft, and it will be released next year. No, all right. Let's look at the other side of this perspective. People are saying that why would they? No. Martin pretty much gave up. He lost interest. He's mentioned before in previous interviews that when he loses interest in a subject, he just stops writing altogether. Right? So that's the most common rhetoric that you see repeated online. George just kind of gave up. He's old. He's a little bit of a chonker. Because of that, because of his health, because of his age, he's most likely never going to finish his magnum opus. And he stated before that no one will ever write the story if he doesn't complete it himself. So, that's where most of the dread really comes from for, when the next book is going to be released. But like I said, if you combine everything that I mentioned before and the idea of George maybe not liking the direction that Dan and Dave took his characters, like basically skipping entire character arcs and entire characters in general. So maybe he was close to finish Winds back in season 6, season 5, but decided to sort of hold off because that wasn't part of the agreement. He didn't necessarily have to finish. Maybe that's why it's taken this long. Maybe he realizes that the best way to sort of, have his work turned into something that he can 100% back. And that's the thing, too. What he said publicly is that he doesn't necessarily agree with all the choices of Game of Thrones, but he does like the show as a whole in general. Like, obviously, he's not going to publicly bash it, but because he hasn't outright said that it's the greatest of all time, people sort of take that, and then, you combine with some of his previous quotes about certain things, about how they're adapted. People take that as, oh, well, he fucking hates Game of Thrones. He wants nothing to do with that because they poorly adapted his work, could probably never finish the story, yada, yada, yada. I think part of that could be true, but for the most part, it just makes sense. If he was named the most influential person of the year by Time Magazine in 2011 when he had an adaptation in the next installment of A Song of Ice and Fire come out, well, I think, that's a good feeling. Maybe he wants that again. Maybe it just makes the most sense to have the most promotion for House of the Dragon, and HBO worked out a deal with him where he will, release the next book when the next show comes out. It just makes too much sense, in my opinion. And then also, you got to realize that it could really just be taking this long to write this story, because we got to realize that the overall gloominess of A Song of Ice and Fire can be an obstacle for people who are reading the book. So just imagine going back into that world and dipping into it like, it's kind of a stupid point to make, but it's very sad. Maybe George is like sort of taking his time because like whenever he does get into it, he just has this strong sense of melancholy. I don't know. I mean, we do know that there's multiple complex storylines. Most of the characters are fucking amazing. The dialogue is insane. The pacing has been described as perfect by multiple different people. Maybe because of all of that, having these multifaceted characters with intricate past aspirations and heavy, strong ambitions for the future, maybe all of that is just really fucking hard to write. It could have actually just taken this long. But all of that aside, I think the last point I want to make for this video is that I don't think we're going to have to wait as long from A Dance with Dragon to Winds of Winter as we will from Winds to A Dream of Spring. Main reason being is because Winds is the hardest book for George to write. All of these characters converge, right? So we have the Battle of Ice, the Battle of Fire, the Battle of Blood. All of these different insane character plot points that are building up in Dance have to be sort of, for somewhat put a nail, a pin on the head. They have to be somewhat wrapped up for the next book, right? So obviously A Dream is going to come out after that, but I don't think we'll have to wait as long because Dance, like I said, is going to be the biggest book ever in A Song of Ice and Fire. There's so many plot points that are converging. It's damn well possible that it could have taken George this long. But all that aside, I think Dream will be out within maybe the second or third season of House of the Dragon. I've gone on for enough. You all let me know what you think down below in the comments section. That seems like a really good point to wrap this video up. Before I get out of here, I do want to briefly mention again that this is your last chance to enter a giveaway for my $20 well, it's not mine anymore, but for a $20 Amazon gift card. Leave me a comment down below on this video or on the last video that I released to enter that giveaway. All you have to do is leave that comment and make sure you're subscribed. That's the most important thing. The like goal for this video is going to be 42069. I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you could, please do me a massive favor and let me know your thoughts down below. Super special shout out to every single member of my Patreon family over on patreon.com/SirHuntsReviews. And remember, it's my job to keep you entertained throughout the wait for House of the Dragon Season 1, or as it's known on this channel, shit, even the wait for Winds of Winter, as it's known on this channel, the Long Night. My name is Mark, and this has been Sir Hunts Reviews. Oh,